Does one of Netflix's biggest hits continue the success? I guess let's talk about it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's Netflix original movie review of Extraction 2, the newest film from director Sam Hargrave. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're back to talk the sequel to Extraction, the film that was a big hit, of course, on Netflix. This is the sequel. Chris Hemsworth is back as Tyler. He's an individual that, of course, apparently was supposedly died in the original, but they bring him back. And he's set on an extraction mission to basically recover the family members of his ex-wife, the daughter, son, and mother, from this prison over in Russia or Croatia or whatever it is. And in the process, the warlord, who is the father, gets into conflict. He wants the kids back. He wants the mother back. And he is, getting to the sights of Tyler and, all that good stuff. It's very much an action-oriented, high-octane film. And it's also a film, once again, that has that one-shot take where it's like 21 minutes long in this film. But yeah, it's a film about extraction, about the bad guys going after the good guys, about the good guys protecting the situation. And yeah, that's kind of your story. It's, once again, like Extraction 1, another continuation in this high-octane franchise that's written by one of the people who did Avengers Endgame. So there you go. So Extraction was what I would call a pretty decent action film. It had one of my favorite one-shot takes in any movie I've ever seen. It came out of nowhere. I was not expecting it, but I loved it. I love Chris Hemsworth. I think he's a very talented, very charismatic actor, very good-looking, makes us all jealous. But he's a guy that just can kind of command and kind of put his presence on the screen and really sell it. So the idea of them bringing in a Extraction 2 in the same director was not really that surprising because the first one was a pretty big hit. In terms of like people watching it, that's what Netflix wants. They want subscriptions. And so therefore they made an Extraction 2. They are going bigger. They're going bolder. And like I said earlier with my synopsis, there is a 21-minute one-take action scene in this movie, which is ambitious. It's crazy to think about. And it's not really that surprising because they want to up the ante. They want to make it bigger, bolder, get more people as a subscription for Netflix, that type of thing. But the question really remains, does that action scene make this movie work? Is it worth watching? And is it following the tropes of sequelisms when it comes to a film that was actually a pretty decent film? Well, here's how I look at this film. It is definitely a standard action film. It has standard action tropes. It has standard action bad guys. It has standard action good guys. It doesn't really deviate from the formula in that respect, but it's actually a pretty competent action film when it comes to that. I think the story is a little, you can kind of throw it away. It's not really that important, to be fairly honest, but it does add some levity with the fact that Tyler's character has a much more personal take and much more personal stakes for Tyler himself, being that these characters are related to him through his ex-wife and stuff like that. So the bad guy has some personal stakes, and everything about it does work on that level. It's just a very standard Joe Russo, Anthony Russo story, where it's not the greatest. It's not what you would call like the most Oscar-worthy story you've ever seen. But Extraction in general has never been like that through a lot of these two movies. It's just been a fun little action romp, very, very violent. It does its thing, but what sets this franchise apart is the audacious nature of doing that one-take action scene. That one shot, that this one has a 21-minute shot where it's just nonstop. It doesn't do any edits, or at least it doesn't do any edits that you notice. It just continues through that one shot until it eventually concludes, at the very end of that one take. And with that said, that's what elevates this movie and this franchise to the heights that it has become. With films like this, and with films like Children of Men in 1917, and I think it was Victoria, these are films that I truly commend the audacity, the audaciousness, the level of skill that a director, their crew, the cast are able to commit to and able to put on screen. This is one of the most bonkers, one of the most insane, one of the most interesting, but also one of the most action-packed one-shots I've ever seen in my entire life. It is gorgeous to watch. It is impressive to watch, and I was on the edge of my seat for the whole 21 minutes. It's crazy. That when it starts, you'll know it when it starts. You'll know when it ends. And it just goes at full throttle. It goes to 11. It goes, 88 miles an hour. And it is absolutely beautiful to watch. It really elevates this film to being a very standard action film in that respect. I was really shocked, like I said, when I first saw the first movie, by what it was doing with that one take action sequence. But because of the bigger budget, they're able to do more. They're able to do camera angles that are much more audacious and much more spectacular. They were able to add set pieces that just flow like very seamlessly in the entire movie, and it is impressive. It really is. I give them a lot of credit. I would give them technical award just for the nature of how good this scene is. And it's just impressive how they have to plan this out and how they have to shoot here, and then they have to shift here, and then they have to shift here. They have to constantly be on the radio talking to the next scene to make sure they're set up. It boggles my mind that people are capable of doing this, but this is what makes good filmmaking, great filmmaking, and especially in the actions-oriented sense, because these directors are willing to take these chances and everybody's willing to be on board with it, that sets these films apart. And I just absolutely love this film for doing what it did. It's not like the most perfect scene, because you can see some of the scenes in the film. It's like that film Athena, the one that came out a few months ago on Netflix. That one shot was absolutely impressive. But if you want to go down and boil it down to just how creative people can be, this is the perfect example. This is a reference style one shot to look at and study and just tear down and break down. It's absolutely incredible stuff. It really is. I was just at all when I was watching every single minute of it. And I can't take away from the other portions of the movie. It's just the scene is so impressive that it does kind of dilute the whole entire film as it goes on. So you had the beginning of the film, and then you get to that scene, and the beginning of the film kind of washes away, and then you get to like the next portion after the one shot scene, and it's not the same. It's because it's so ambitious and so chaotic and so bombastic that it just completely dilutes the rest of the film, which is the main problem of this film. It's just, like I said, a very standard film when it comes to its action-oriented sense. But I have to give him credit. This is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen, and absolutely delivers on all fronts, especially with what it's trying to do with being bigger than the first film, and I give it a lot of credit. So overall, I definitely recommend this film. It is definitely worth it just for the one shot alone. I would pay money just for that shot in the theaters because it's so impressive. It's definitely worth a watch. I think everybody is having fun. Brings back characters from the first film, including his like cohorts when it comes to the mercenaries and stuff like that, and adds some new characters and stuff like that. So it's a fun film. It's entertaining. It's not going to insult your intelligence, but outside the action sequence, it is a very standard action film. So. With that said, that is going to be my take on Extraction 2, which is now on Netflix. So check it out. Definitely give it a watch, and comment below on what you think of the movie when you watch it. Did you like it? Did you like that one-shot action sequence? All that good stuff. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.